1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
It's time for Jim George, professor of the universe, to explain things to us, like rockets that go up at 5:42 in the morning.
Summertime.
Like summertime.
Yeah.
Jim is here to answer your questions about technology. Maybe you've got something new going on with your phone. We haven't had that question, actually. Or perhaps a TV question, a cable question. So the number is 622-9622. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning.
Well,
you brought up this morning about the gentleman who died sitting in his boat from lightning.
Yeah.
Probably a metal boat. I believe those boats are aluminum.
I would think so, yeah.
And he's sitting on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wasn't a
not
smart
a safe
idea.
place to be.
Not a smart idea.
No, not a smart idea at all. Like the other day, I was doing some work, and I could see that rain was coming. It was getting very close. And I was on an aluminum ladder holding 20 feet of wire in my hand, and I told my helper, we got to get this thing done and get out of here. And I just got barely down and put the ladder in the truck when it started to rain. I said, but lightning can hit 50 miles away on a clear day. Like golfers can be on a golf course.
In an instant, right?
They could be on a golf course, clear sky, just like it is right this minute. Maybe a few non-threatening clouds and get hit by lightning. They go 50 miles away.
Wow.
So when you see it really over your head, what in the world are you doing outside with metal in your hand?
Yeah, really
crazy.
Do you want to break the news to our listeners? You have some good news. You told us off air, or is that?
Oh, the data center?
Private. Yeah.
No. It's the Marion County is expanding their information network, and so they're building a unique, large data center downtown.
Wow. And what is that?
Handle all the...
What does the data center actually do?
Well, everything that the county has to come through something, has to come through servers. And if it wants to be stored, or through switches, if it wants to be shared. And so you outgrow your room very quickly.
Okay.
So they have a new building now that has a 26-foot long and 10-foot wide data center.
I'm very familiar with the building you're talking about. Tell the listeners what building it is.
It's the old Wells Fargo down
right
by
on the boulevard.
courthouse.
Yeah.
Right by the courthouse.
And that has a downstairs also.
Yeah, the data center is going in the downstairs. It's going in the basement.
Oh,
I never knew it had a basement.
That's really nice.
I guess we
down
call
there.
it first floor.
Yeah.
Because you enter at one level and you go down to a different level.
I guess I've been down. I come to think of it. Yeah, when you go in the door, you turn right and you go down. You do go down.
Down the steps,
Yeah.
The steps, yep. So it's a unique building, and they're getting ready to, wire it shortly. They haven't.
And who's doing the wiring? Can I ask?
Yeah, I am.
Nice. Congratulations, Jim George. Woo!
And when they called me and said I wanted, I said, really?
Is that a good job? I mean, do you like wiring? Is it?
Oh yeah, no.
Is it fun at all, or is it just?
Well, the tutelage is find something you like to do, and then find somebody who will pay you to do it.
And that's what you're doing.
So to me, it's not even work. I mean, it's hard work, but it's just what I like to do. So yeah. Very, very easy.
Well, that is cool.
In one sense. In other words, it's a no-brainer. Not easy in the sense you don't huff and puff.
So let me ask you something. Will the money still be in the vault when you're in there? Just curious.
The vault has been empty.
Darn.
But I did have a chance to walk in the vault.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Is the vault going to be used for something? Or
I have no idea. They were thinking about using it for some kind of storage that needed to be confidential, not necessarily paperwork storage, but servers and things like that.
Do you know
the
vault is still in place in the old building that used to be? It's the old Gothic-looking building with the columns right across from the town square. I don't know what that building is called.
Magnolia.
Yeah.
South to one-way street going south.
It's been
40.
many things over the time I've been here, and nothing stays in there very long. But they still have a vault in there.
Yeah.
In fact, there's an article on the wall, a newspaper article hanging on the wall at Jerry's Pawn and Gun that shows Ma and Fred Barker, dead bodies laying, so the public could come and see them.
Yeah, laid out.
So we would know for sure, okay, the bad guys are dead. Yeah.
Right there in
there's across from Sun Bank on Mary Camp, by Popeyes, that Mary Kemp right there at Sunbank. There's an eye doctor place right there. That used to be a bank, and I wired it. And
Oh, you did?
And it's in the vault.
Is that right?
And as a matter of fact, in order to go from the first floor to the second floor for my wiring, they have to drill. The county's going to drill through 24 inches of solid concrete
Wow.
to give me an opening. That's how thick those walls are.
Wow.
Into the vault
That
area.
is exciting.
24
That's
inches.
something.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Except for the guy who's doing the drilling.
He'll get.
Oh, he didn't find something he loves to do?
He'll get time and a half.
He didn't find. I think I would
He'll
love
get hazard pay.
See, everything like that sounds exciting to me.
Can you drill? You could drill. You could drill that hole.
I don't know the first thing about drilling. I know you use a drill. That's about all I know.
Put it in the wall and let it spin, right?
It's a 4-inch bit,
See what Robin knows
24
about
inches
what I know.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robin knows
I know
about as
that.
much as I know.
Don't hire us to drill your wall.
All right.
All right.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Good morning, everybody. It's Sonny calling.
Hi, Sonny.
I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but I used to be pretty active with the county and what was going on in our communities, especially the development. And I can remember being at county commission meetings, and all of a sudden something would go haywire electronically with whatever's going on, the equipment they're using plus their computers. And they'd have, I don't know if he's on staff or what, but they had somebody in there that had to go in there and, reboot a computer or reboot the system that they were working off of. And I'm glad to hear, actually, that they are, trying to keep up with the times. But what I'm getting at is they always seem to be behind the technology that was coming up. So, in essence, I do think that was a good move to be a little behind so that they can take advantage of getting past all the, let's say, the pitfalls or loopholes or whatever that comes with new technology.
Exactly.
But I'm glad to hear that, and congratulations on the job. And the more they put in with as far as new technology is concerned, the more they're going to need somebody full time. If you ask me, if they don't have somebody already. Anyway, have a great weekend. Have a good 4th of July, Jim, and. Thanks for your programming and thanks for the information.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
WOCA.
Thank you, Sonny.
Yeah, they're lucky to have you.
Well, all I'm privy to is the fact that the size of the wire, the type of wire, everything like Sonny's alluding to is the newest, latest, greatest.
Mm-hmm.
But all the servers, the switches, that I don't get to see that. In other words, that's an after the fact. So after I'm through wiring and making sure everything works, then they come in and put their equipment in.
Oh, okay.
And that building has been a bank forever. It's been different banks, but it's always been a bank, right?
Yeah, it was the First Union. And what was it
is that
before
way?
First Union?
I don't know.
It went from First Union to Wells Fargo, but I can't remember what it is before First
Union.
Union.
I actually remember as a child going there with my grandfather. I didn't even live here at the time. I was visiting my grandparents, and that's where he went to the bank. So.
And all the marbles from Italy, from what I understand. So I hope when they rip out those teller cages and things that they're able to preserve it and put it somewhere else.
George Albright should buy it. George Albright, he likes old stuff like that.
Yeah, he does.
Who does?
George Albright.
Oh, yeah, George Albright. That's right. I didn't hear you.
Hey, I have a TV question for you.
Okay.
All right, and this is a real TV question from me. Noku. Have you heard of Noku or Roku?
Roku.
It's Roku.
Roku. Okay. So Doug lives in a group home, and when I went to pick him up last Sunday, the lady who was taking care of him was flipping through her TV with something called Roku, and I said, "What is that?" And just in a nutshell, it looked like a really easy way to navigate channels, whatever, instead of having cable. Because she didn't have cable. She uses the same thing Robin uses, which is just the internet, right?
Right.
Yeah, just the internet.
Can you tell me about it? What is it? Is it a good idea to get? Or what?
Yeah, so Roku, Hulu, a few others have a box similar to the one I'm going to do. And when it first started out, it was just apps. So you had an app for NBC, an app for CBS, and you'd hover over the app and you'd hit it, and then it would go to ABC or it would go to NBC. It wouldn't necessarily go to your local NBC or ABC, but you could do that. You could add an app for Channel 2 or Channel 6 or Channel 9. It's come a long way. Now they have the electronic programming guide, which populates your screen with multiple apps, so you can do that. But I'm believing what you're saying is Roku has actually added a channel guide of sorts where you just hover over the channel and you hit it, which is probably an interface that goes to the app that goes out. The difference between what I'm going to be offering and the Roku is very slight in the sense that my electronic programming guide will actually be what's on at this time, just like you see a normal guide, and the channels will be listed like Animal Planet, and it might be whatever it is, searching for a whale or whatever. And then you hit it, and then it will go to that channel. So it will mimic exactly like you see on most cable TV or Dish or DirecTV.
That sounds like good news to the consumer.
It is very good news.
Is it good news to the cable operator like yourself? No.
But most cable operators are trying to hurry up and turn their systems IP and be able to deliver. It just requires a lot of bandwidth for a cable operator.
And remind me what IP stands for again?
Internet Protocol.
Internet Protocol, okay. Yeah. All right, we have another phone call.
All right.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Jim George.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. The other day, I decided, okay, I'm going to do a little work in the kitchen and pull the oven away from the wall and the refrigerator out and clean them behind, which you should do every once in a while. I thought, I got to clean that filter in the refrigerator, and I couldn't find any place where you could find a filter. So I got my manual out, and I called the 1-800 number, and a nice lady answers, and I gave her the serial number and the model number and everything else. And she, about 5 minutes later, I don't know what she was doing, researching it, she says, "Oh, you don't have a filter in your refrigerator. Is that possible?"
Okay, now you mean a water filter?
No. For just a regular filter for the air,
Yeah, no. Chances are you may not. It's only a fan blowing cool air across a condenser, probably.
Yeah.
So she researched your model and said you did not have an air filter.
Yeah, like the older ones, down where the water pan was, there was always a filter there.
Sure.
You'd pull out and you'd either blow it off or wash it off or something and put it back in. But everything is sealed. There's no way you can get in there.
Yeah, if the back of yours is sealed, right, then the only filter is on the very bottom where it draws air up from the bottom. And you could put your own filter down there. You could go to any place like Appliance Parts or Magnolia. They would cut you one of those nylon-looking spider web deals that nylon's going every which way. It's a filter, and you could slide it up under your refrigerator. Therefore, if you have dogs or cats, that's the biggest killer of refrigerators is cat hair and dog hair. It sucks it right off the floor.
Not bad.
Brings it right.
Tell me all about it. when I pulled both of the appliances away from the wall, I had enough hair to a couple bushel baskets full.
Right.
It's just unbelievable. But okay, I'll do what you say there.
Yeah.
But I was surprised when you told me that there was nothing that I really had to be concerned about.
Yeah, yep. And since you're on the subject, if you do have an inline water filter, you should change it twice a year.
Twice a year, yeah. Now, is that easy to get at, too?
It depends what model. I know we just purchased a new one recently. It's a Samsung, and it's right inside. All I have to do is just turn a little knob, and the filter comes out, and I put a cartridge, and I put it in. The old ones are hanging behind on the water line that feeds your ice maker. It's just hanging there.
Yeah. Okay. I'll check that out. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I have an ice maker. What do I have to do with my ice maker?
So when you pull your refrigerator away from the wall, it should be on wheels. Should be fairly easy for you to wheel it out. The line that's going into your refrigerator is going to have a cartridge hanging there. That cartridge is a water filter. And so you can go to where the water is feeding your refrigerator. Normally it's outside where your water heater is. They just tap a line and send it in. You just turn that valve off. That way you still have water to your house, but you don't have water to your water filter that goes to your fridge. Then you just open it up. Some of them just snap open. Some you have to unscrew, twist screw. And anyway, there's a cartridge in there. Then you take the cartridge out. And if you haven't changed it in a while, you're going to be so surprised.
It's been 4 years since they
when you see that filter,
there.
you're going to say it's a miracle I'm still alive.
Oh, wow.
My.
Wow.
And then you throw it away, of course.
And then where do you get a new one?
Any place that sells filters, like Lowe's, any place will sell you a replacement. There is a special. There's two places in town up that sell appliance parts. One on Magnolia. And the other one, it's just, north of town, Magnolia. It's still on Magnolia, though. And the other one is on 441, a little bit further south.
Oh, okay.
Further north, excuse me. But I think both of them, their name starts with appliance parts. One might be Appliance Parts of Ocala. One might be just called Appliance Parts, Inc.
Oh, okay.
But you can get anything. You can get the heater elements for your dryer, your washer, the heater elements for the top of your stove. They sell literally in stock everything you'd ever want for an appliance.
Really?
And if you're missing a knob on your stove top, they sell it all.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. I got 2 burners that don't work. Do you think it's the burner itself, or is it something in the stove?
Well, if you can rattle the burner, if it's the type that comes off.
It just pulls right out.
Right. Just rattle it. Use a wooden spoon, like the type you'd make spaghetti sauce with or something.
Yeah, I got one of those. And
just as you have it on, move it with the wooden spoon and see if it starts to come on. If it does, then it's probably the connection. And then you just have to tighten the connection. When you lift off the top of it, there's just a screw you tighten up. But and if it doesn't, then it's probably your burner. And that's very easy to replace. You unplug it, put a new one in, you're done.
Oh, okay.
Very simple. A lot of things we can do ourselves.
Very practical information today.
They're very simple to do.
Useful
I'm
information.
get 4 burners now instead of 2 little tiny ones.
Operating on all 4 burners. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We got Roku, and you got the burners, your filter.
And the filter,
You're going to be all set.
I'll be set.
You are professor of the universe. The phone line is open if you have a question, 622-9622. I wanted to expand the topic of filters.
Okay.
Are there other filters we just don't think about? I mean, do we need to be changing filters on computers and things like that?
You have air conditioning in your home, right? Have you? When was the last time you changed that filter?
Yeah, forever.
Oh, it's been a couple years. I have. I've got this thing. It's above it's way at the top of my ceiling. And it's big.
That's big. The return is in your ceiling?
Yeah.
The filter?
So I got to do that too. So
yes, you do.
I got 3 things to do. I'll have a busy weekend.
When you see it, you're going to, you'll wonder why you don't have colds all the time and coughing all the time. There's stuff growing in there.
Oh, okay. So I better do that.
My God.
Oh, you got to get the filters clean.
Okay.
Yeah, so what we did when I get, like everybody, I get behind on doing things, so I forced myself. I found out the size of the filter that goes into the in-house air conditioner, the ones we have one mounted inside, and I bought a case. Because with the case, it's hard to neglect it. There's a case of filters. So I had to hide it in the closet, which means every time I go in the closet, I see that case, which reminds me to change the filter. And then the outside air conditioner, one that feeds one part of the house, it had a different size filter. So I bought a case, and it's in the garage, and it's right by the unit, and it reminds me. But other than that, I'd go, like you said, months and months, maybe a year before changing it. And then when I finally do change it, it's like, oh, my goodness. And your electric bill will go down.
Oh, nice.
When you change that filter, your electric bill will go down.
I'll do that this weekend, too.
It's trying too hard to pass air through it.
Wow, my mother was really organized. I used to change her filter every month.
There you go.
Whether it didn't look like it was even dirty. And she'd say, well, you got to change it. She'd have it on her calendar. She was always that way. Write things on the calendar.
When I first bought the first case, I changed it every month. But like yourself, I looked at it and said, this thing's not dirty. So then I did it every other month. And about every other month, we write on our calendar. Every year when we first get our calendar, let's say in December for January, we write January, the first day of January, or change filters. First day of March, change filters. First day of June, change filter. And that way we know just to do it systematically. Same thing with the batteries in your smoke detector. We change them when you fall back or go forward, fall forward, fall back, whatever it is.
If we're going to do that anymore, we're not really sure.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Up to the government.
We got another phone call.
All right.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Hi, it's Sonny calling back for Robin. Take a flashlight and look into that vent before you start pulling it down. Make sure that's where the filter goes. I've been in a few homes where you were wondering where that filter would go, and I said the same thing. It has to go in that big vent in the ceiling, and it didn't go there.
Oh.
Underneath in the bottom of the air conditioner is about a 1-inch piece of metal that goes all the way across. There's 2 little black knobs on either side. You loosen those knobs and you open it up, and you'll probably see a filter there.
Oh, in the air conditioner itself.
Wow.
Right.
Yes.
Outside. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not outside. There.
Well, not outside. No, the air handler in the house.
Oh, the one in the attic.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
it's in the attic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an air handler in the attic, and then this
Well,
big old
then
square
it probably
thing
is in the
wall.
grate then on your ceiling. It's probably there.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they don't want you crawling
Yeah.
in the attic.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. I mean, I've seen some new houses where they're putting these units, hanging them from the ceiling, and I've heard of people with it in the attic.
Oh, my.
And I think that's one of the worst places you can put an air conditioning or air handler
Yep.
unit, because of the heat that accumulates in the attic.
It gets
It's
hot.
extra load on the air conditioner.
Right, yeah, makes sense.
Plus, if that drain tube gets clogged up, that water is going to eventually start dripping down onto your ceiling somewhere,
Oh.
wherever the unit is.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm not a big fan of putting big units like that up in the attic.
Right.
And then the other thing you got to think of is when it goes out, which is usually in the summertime, there's some guy that's got to go up there and work on it, and it's probably about 120 degrees up in the attic.
Right. Right.
And
Bake cookies.
I'm just not a fan of that stuff. But anyway, that was my suggestion. I didn't know your unit was up in the attic.
Oh,
but
well, thank
it still
you.
could be up there.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Sonny,
I'll take a flashlight and look through, and if you don't see the stripes or whatever from the filter, the reinforcing stripes for the filter material, you're going to have to look someplace else before you start tearing everything apart.
Oh, okay, that's good. I'm going to do that.
You'll find it.
I mean,
You'll-
I'm just listening, so, it's something I've learned to look for, and so far, knock on wood, I've never found a place where I had to drop that grill to replace a filter because it wasn't there. And the mess that creates is
that grill is
unbelievable.
dirty.
Ooh,
So anyway, have a great day, good weekend. Bye
thank
now.
you.
There you go.
I'm going to be busy this weekend.
Yeah, if that grill comes off easily for you, then just take it outside and hose it and wash it off, even if you do change the filter, because there'll be stuff stuck to the grill.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
There a lot of things, the house owns you. You don't own the house. It tells you when it wants to be cleaned in the
Yeah,
sense that, okay, I'm not going to work anymore until you clean me.
Yeah.
Something's got to give.
So how do you plan a big job like wiring a data center? Do you write it all down on paper or something?
I do. So I get a set of plans and from the county or from whatever job I'm doing, and I measure how many feet of wire I need, and then I estimate in my mind on the footage how many hooks I need to hold the wire up so it doesn't sit on the dry wall or sit on the drop ceiling. And so then that's the first place. Then I figure how many jacks do I need? Okay, how many face plates do I need? Okay, well, how many racks do I need? And so on and so forth. And then that's the bid. And then when you win the bid, then you sit down and you start to determine where you're going to buy everything from. Is it one person you're going to buy from? Several people? What's the time frame?
Wow.
That type of stuff.
I remember when we were
It's
putting this
exciting.
studio together, you were up on the ladder putting wires in here.
Yes.
You were the wiring guy for this job.
Yeah. Well, actually, Dan did most of it. He surprised me. He wanted to work on a Saturday, and I was doing something that Saturday, and I said, I'll just come over Monday after work, and I came, and he had ran almost all the wires.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's something I have no clue about. Well, thank you for the information. We
no
have some
problem.
practical, useful information today, for sure.
Well, that's good. We got to do it once in a while anyway, right?
And I think Sonny may have answered a question. Robin's garage has a big water stand on the ceiling. So that might be what he's talking about with that air
Yeah, so
handler.
there's a pan, there's condensation.
Yeah.
And so the water has a tube, the pan has a tube that sends the water outside. If that gets clogged, and it does get clogged, then the water just sits there, and then it finally overflows and causes a stain. So,
Yeah.
you need to clean that out.
Thank you, Jim.
All right.
And you've had a lot of dogs, or they stay outside, though,
Well,
right?
they mostly stay outside. We have one inside now because it has a sore on its where the collar goes, and my wife's nursing it, so, keeping it inside. But normally, they're all outside.
So we have a question for you. This is based on a conversation we had with Galen. I got like 20 seconds. Would you sell one of your dogs for $1 million?
Oh, easy. Oh, my goodness.
That's what Galen said, too.
I would give them away. My wife, on the other hand,
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
family members. All right.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris